Good morning, everyone. In this video, I'm going to give you a guide and tips for chapter 2 of my Java books. Chapter 2 is on elementary programming. The key concepts include variables, declaring variables, writing expressions using operators, writing simple programs. These are the key concepts from chapter 2. Now, let's first look at declaring variables. In Java, when you introduce a variable, you need to declare its type. In this chapter, we will introduce the primitive data types. In the future, you will have another type, that is the object type. Primitive types include int types for integers. The integer types, there are 4 integer types: byte, short, int, and long. And there are 2 types for floating point numbers: float, double. And there will be other types we're going to introduce. There's 2 types for characters and for Boolean values. In this chapter, we have this numeric types for integers and for floating point numbers. The floating point numbers are the numbers with decimal points. So these are the data types you use when you declare a variable and you specify a type. Now here in this section 2.3, we introduce the input. How do you get input from the user? And using the scanner class, so you can get input and get the integer input, get the floating point number input. Now, this is very common in all programming language. We have this term is called identifier. Identifier. So how do you name identifier in Java? So there's rules. So this is the something you need to look at it. And so the operators, when you write expression, you use the operators. So this is the for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and remainder. So the division, if you have 2 integers involving in division, the result is also integer. The fractional part is truncated. So that's something you need to be aware. And the remainder operator, that's the you have this is normally it's 2 integers performing the division, and the remainder is the result for the remainder operator. Another thing we need to know is there's a special operators here in Java, and so this is the augmented assignment operators. So this is the section 2.14. So let's look at this section 2.14. You're going to see this. 2.14. So here is to add 1 into the count. So this is the augmented operator for addition. So there's a subtraction augmented operator, and this is the multiplication, this is division, and this is remainder. So you can have all this augmented operator, just a short way to write a code. So this is subtract assignment. Here is augmented operator for subtraction, and you're going to subtract 8 from I. So this is the one. Another type of operator, this is called increment and decrement. So let's look at this, and that's something you have to be aware of. We're going to use a lot. So this is actually together. It's a plus plus. There's no space here. There's no space. There should be no space here, and there's no space here. Okay, they're together here. So this is increment, and this is decrement. So there's two forms of this increment, decrement, and is the pre-increment. So you put plus plus before the variable, and post increment, and this is the after the variable. So here's the difference is, so if you use this in the expression, so you have pre-increment means that you're going to increment it, always increment it by 1. And then you're going to use the original value in the variable. So here is the pre-increment is you use the new value in the variable in the evaluation of the expression. If this is a post increment, you're going to use the original one. So this is the post increment. So here, and you can see the difference is so you're going to assign, this is the plus plus I to j. If I is 1, so plus plus I is 2. So the new value is 2 is assigned to j. If it's post incremental and you have I plus plus, so this becomes 2. But the old value is 1, and 1 is assigned to j. So that's the difference between this, the pre and post. The same thing for the pre-decrement and post-decrement. All right, so here, and that's the this increment and decrement operators. So another thing we need to look at it is the numeric typecasting. So this is the type conversion, type casting. So what happens if you have different types of values involved in the expression? So like here, 3 times 4.5. So if you have this different kinds of values here, and so this is a very simple rule is if you have integer and floating point numbers, and integer is converted into floating point numbers, so automatically it's auto conversion. So then the result is the floating point numbers. So this is very simple. What happens if you assign some values? So let's say we're going to assign a value. This is the d is double and 4.5. You want to assign to it. Now you have to perform explicit casting because you have to tell compiler this is your intention. You want to do this conversion to truncate the fractional part. So this is, and the result is I now becomes 4. So here. Now the original value, and here in D in the variable is not changed. So you just cast it and get the new value and here into this variable I. So in this chapter, you need to know how to get input from the console. So using the scanner class. So this is always the pattern. You at this point of time, you just need to know how to write this code. We're going to explain more and why this, and we have to use the syntax new and with the class name here, scanner, and with system.in. So for now, and just accept that this is the way it is. And as we continue to study, and we will understand and why the way the program is written in this way. So always when you get the input, and so you use the this scanner and to declare the input variable, and this is actually creating a new scanner object assigned this is reference to this input, and then from this input you can invoke the method into double, and so this is get double, and there's also you get the different kinds of data here. The variable you can use int dot next int, and with like a next byte, next short, and next long, and so all this and here. So if you look at this, all this data types here, you can see. So there's numeric operators, and so we're gonna read everything, read all. So there's reading numbers from the keyboard. So this is the read everything here, read next byte, next short, next int, next long, next float, next double. All right, also we need to know this program here. This is a helpful, very helpful. We're going to use it a lot in the programming exercise here. Is in this section 2.17 software development process. So right here, and just see how this works, and see the process and developing a simple program and using mathematical formula and writing code and for this mathematical formula. And so this, understand here, this is the formula we use a lot in our programming exercise, to compute loan. So how do you get the monthly interest rate from the annual interest rate? So all this things here in this programming example. Another thing about this is the current time. So this is also useful. How do you get the current system time? We're going to also use it in the future programs, the current time. All right, as always, when you get into the programming projects, so please look at this website here, and this is the frequently asked questions site, and from this site you can go to the hint page and to get the hint for the programming exercise here. So this is chapter 2, programming project 1, and so here we have the hint for you, so you can look at the hint how to do it step by step and writing your code. And then after you write your code, you can do a check exercise, and from this check exercise tool, and use this for this programming exercise. Well, that is all for the this chapter 2 guide and tips. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.